Hello, and welcome to another Story Time with Sky Fellowship. I'm going to quickly say that I've got a very chaotic uploading schedule, and it's because I'm currently dealing with some health issues at the moment anyway, so I end up recording a couple of videos on a day when I feel up to it, so at least that way I know I've got them sorted for the next week, because I'm trying to upload 2 a week, but it also means that sometimes I might end up accidentally uploading a video before another one, so I might end up referencing one, and on a technicality that might happen here, but I might remember in time, and I might have just picked those 2 to upload together, unless they're both different story times, I guess, which most likely it will be, because I came up that I was recording a video about a very unique problem that games have, and that's gonna I'll try to remember because I am currently remembering it was the Left 4 Dead video I recorded. But at the same time, I then had another idea for this, where video games have something very unique in their favour as well, and it's that video games allow you to live in the moment essentially of the game, and I'm going to try to explain all of this without going too far off the deep end here. But as much as games have sequels, and they do some story hooks to set up sequels, for the most part, because video games have the most ridiculous dev cycles of 7 years, 10 years, 15 years, companies cannot afford to make the entire game about what comes next. They have to give you a fully realised, fully created product, and what will tend to happen is you will get some story hooks to set some things up, especially, obviously, the Spider-Man games. Like, I've picked this for a real reason. This is Miles Morales, and I have picked it for a very real reason. But every single iteration, they do their best to actually improve it upon, and improve upon, and improve upon. I'm going to very quickly segue and say my history with superheroes is Spider-Man is my overall favourite. I always loved the X-Men and I loved Wolverine. It's almost as if Stan Lee being anti-bigotry and putting his heart on his sleeve with that and like really hammering home all of these things was like important to me as a queer child growing up. I truly do miss that man and his storytelling so much. But outside of loving a lot of the old cartoons, a lot of the old games, a lot of the old comics, I pretty much like the Tobey Maguire first Spider-Man movie, and that's it. And I don't really like any superhero movies. There's a couple, like the Deadpools are kind of okay as standalones. There's the Nolan Batman trilogy, but all of these like expanded universe bullshit, all of the constantly selling you on the next thing, I cannot honestly stand it. I can't stand how capitalism ruins them. I can't stand how they use it as a medium of storytelling. And one of my most major problems is I did try to keep up with the MCU for a little bit. I got all the way up to Avengers 1, basically, and that's when I was like, nope, you know what, I'm done, because Avengers 1 was like the first 45 minutes felt like a previously in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I truly hated it. I ended off liking a couple of the Netflix series when they did Daredevil and that, but then Daredevil was eventually ruined by them cancelling it, and then when they uncancelled it, they didn't even decide to finish the story. I was so pissed off. I was so invested in the Lady Kingpin story happening and with Bullseye and everything, but oh well, that's done now and won't be happening again. So all of that to say, I think superhero stories work better in much larger formats than a 2-hour movie. The series can kind of work because you get more time to set them up, same as the comics, same as obviously the cartoons were still series, but you know what I mean. And I know some countries use the word season instead of series, and one means one and one's it's this whole thing. But hang on a second, I might need to clear my throat very quickly, and I can't pause this video. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. But for the most part, I think 2-hour movies just don't really work. But even worse is the fact that when you go and pay your money to watch that 2-hour movie, and all anyone talks about is the last 30 seconds. And this is what I mean by video games. Like, I'm essentially going to say the episode title. I forgot to do this at the start because this is the second time I've recorded this. Essentially going to say the episode title is that video games allow you to live in the moment. And yeah, it's because every single time I went to see a movie, and I didn't keep up with all of them, I don't know all the names, I don't know all of the Easter eggs, all of this is going to, if you're already pissed off with me for besmirching the beloved MCU, you're really going to be pissed off when I see it. So let's say I went to see Captain America, and Captain America Winter Soldier ends with a scene that sets up the next Hulk, and the next Hulk sets up the next Thor, and the next Thor sets up the next Spider-Man, which sets up the next Avengers, which sets up the Secret War, which sets up this, that, and the fucking other. just let me enjoy the thing I'm supposed to be fucking enjoying. I really do not understand why all of that shit ended off taking off, because in games, when you set up a sequel, it is a tiny little hook, and it's such a little thing that it doesn't dominate the conversation because you get all of the rest of this amazing content. There are so many times, and I understand there's going to be people that want to defend this, and people will say, well, maybe that's only with a bad movie, well, that was the only good thing about it, and yeah, fair enough. But there are so many times I went to see a movie and the only thing people talked about was that fucking 30-second Easter egg to set up the next thing. Capitalism ruined that entire fucking... I don't want to say industry, like, I technically don't want to say franchise, but hopefully you know what I mean. The entire cinematic universe as a whole, every time someone does one of these cinematic universe bullshit, it's always essentially ruined by capitalism going off, hey, you better not be enjoying this, we don't want you to be enjoying this, we want you to be looking forward to the next thing, because looking forward builds hype, and building hype builds more ticket sales, and more ticket sales means more money. So it's the whole thing of just focus on the 30-second scene, that's all we want you to care about. We don't give a fuck about anything else, we don't care if you enjoy the film, we don't care if you agree with our acting choices, or casting choices I should say, or story choices, or how faithful we stick to the adaptations or anything. We just care about that 30-second scene. I truly do fucking hate that about those movies, and it's why I'm so glad that it's something that gaming is essentially free from. Yes, again, and I picked with this Spider-Man, they've tried to still do those little things because it still is the Marvel thing, and I feel like some people would expect it, but at no point does it dominate the entire thing. I finished Spider-Man 2 thinking that is an absolutely brilliant game. It's one of my favourites. It's way better than I thought in the first one, but like, I never constantly went on and on thinking, oh, I can't wait until they do Venom versus Carnage in the next one. If they do that, I was just like, yeah, whatever they do. And even if it turns out that that's the end of the story, I would like to see something with Carnage now that they set it up. But at the same time, Spider-Man 2, the way it ends, it's kind of a, yeah, this could be an end, you know, I wouldn't be that upset. Now, I do understand we are going to get a trilogy. The trilogy isn't just 1, 2, and Miles Morales. We will eventually get a Spider-Man 3, but at the moment, they're working on Wolverine, and that's going to take a while. So, see what I mean? Like, all of these hooks, they can't be too massive, because then suddenly, you're kind of ruining your own hype cycle because of the fact that games take so much longer to make than movies. So, take an average sequel, like The Last of Us. The first one didn't really try to set up the second one, and it was originally supposed to be one game, and then it became so successful they made a second one. You don't really, like, even when you get sequels in gaming, you don't really get these massive little 30-second Easter egg hooks that are supposed to dominate the whole conversation. And with that, with all of this waffling I think done, I've realised that the game that I was supposed to be watching in the Olympics currently came back about 5 minutes ago. That's because I've had to do this a second time. So I am going to say, this has been Sky Fellowship, and until the next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day.